Do you ever feel like Laidlaw has a lot of rules? I thought so. I'm sure they sometimes seem unnecessary and even burdensome. But like it or not, rules are important. At Laidlaw, we need rules and procedures to ensure a safe, efficient work environment. The safety rules we'll look at in this program were developed over many years by people just like you. They looked at the way we did things and came up with better, safer ways to get the job done. Their observations and input have been very valuable to us. You might even call it priceless, and yours is too. We need your help to protect our most important resource, you, and everybody you work with. All of the rules here at Laidlaw Transit are mandatory. They must be followed. In fact, we feel so strongly about the importance of these rules to protect your safety, breaking them will usually result in disciplinary action. Most of the rules here at Laidlaw fall into one of the four following categories: driving rules, day-to-day operation rules, lifting and shop safety rules, customer service rules. We'll take a quick look at each category. Then we'll stop the tape after each one so you'll have an opportunity to ask questions, okay? Let's get started. First, let's look at a few driving rules for transit bus operators. The rules we'll discuss here are only the basics. Several training programs have been dedicated to this important topic. The only time you're required to back up is to park the bus at the end of the day. Otherwise, never back the bus up without dispatch clearance. We realize that sometimes circumstances will require you to back up, but always remember, transit buses are awkward vehicles and backing them can be tricky. You're more than 3 times as likely to get into a collision while you're backing your bus. So be very careful. If you do have to back up, always use a spotter. Your spotter should stand on the left-hand side of the bus in a spot where you can see them in your mirrors. They must also be far enough behind the bus so they can clearly see any obstacles you could encounter. When driving, your goal is to create a safety cushion around your bus. This is done by maintaining a proper following distance, staying in the center of your lane with your mirrors properly adjusted to reduce blind spots, and proper braking. When driving, always maintain a safe following distance between your bus and the vehicle in front of you. This safety cushion will help to prevent collisions if that vehicle stops suddenly. Under ideal weather and road conditions, the 4-second rule is a good guideline. According to this rule, you should maintain a 4-second following distance between the vehicle in front of you and your vehicle. In rain, snow, ice, fog, at night, or any time there is limited visibility, double your following distance. Don't wander from the left to the right side of your lane. Stay in the middle of your lane. Whenever you approach an intersection, cover your brake and be prepared to stop. Don't assume traffic on the intersecting street will do what they're supposed to do. Always brake smoothly, using the following procedure. Gently depress the brake pedal to slow the bus down. Ease off the brake. As the vehicle comes to a stop, depress the brake pedal firmly and hold it. When pulling into the boarding zone for a service stop, always put on your turn signal at least 100 feet before the zone. This will give the vehicles behind you sufficient notice. When loading or unloading, stop your bus 6 to 12 inches away from and parallel to the curb line or the road edge. If there are cars parked up to the boarding zone, or if there are other obstacles in this space, angle your bus into the boarding zone so that the front of the bus is approximately 4 feet from the curb line or the road edge. Begin to turn when your rear wheels are parallel to the obstacle or to the last parked car. No Laidlaw Transit associate can ever be under the influence of alcohol or drugs, either before or during a shift. No alcohol may be consumed during working hours or prior to your shift. Stop the tape now to discuss these basic bus driving rules. If there are specific rules in place at your location, discuss them now. Day-to-day operating procedures are usually taken for granted in most companies. But since we work directly with the public, the specifics of our daily routines are constantly changing. Here are a few basics. Each day, you must complete a thorough pre-trip inspection of your bus before it leaves the yard. Never open your doors until the bus has come to a complete stop. Likewise, never open the door to any obstructions, such as poles, trees, or puddles. If there are unavoidable hazards at a service stop, alert the exiting passengers before you open the door. Collect all fares and make sure all passengers are sitting or standing and holding on behind the white line before leaving a service stop. Make sure all entering passengers have entered and all exiting passengers have exited before you move the bus. Never perform first aid on a passenger unless you've been specifically trained and authorized to do so. If you've been trained and do perform first aid, always use disposable gloves, which can be found in the biohazard portion of your bus's first aid kit. Laidlaw needs you to present a professional image. Wear your uniform. Make sure it's clean and neat. Again, these are only the basics. A more detailed look at daily operations is the subject of several specific programs. Stop the tape now and review the importance of day-to-day operating rules. Everybody lifts something heavy every day of their lives, and every time you lift improperly, you put stress on your back. Those stresses add up. Over 90% of all people in the U.S. have suffered from back pain at some time. Following the rules of lifting is important to your safety and will save you from a lot of pain and suffering. Always bend your knees to lift. Place your feet slightly apart and keep the weight of what you're lifting close to your body. Lift with your legs, not with your back, even if you're only lifting a small object. Don't twist your back to move things you've lifted. Pivot with your feet instead. Only lift objects that are within your limits. Get help when you need it. Proper lifting and back injury prevention is discussed in greater detail in another education and orientation program. Everyone in the shop, associates and visitors, must wear safety glasses in the required locations. You must wear full face protection when using the grinder. Proper respiratory protection must be worn when working on brakes because of dust particles and used brake linings. Hearing protection is mandatory when working with loud machinery. Even when it's not mandatory, hearing protection is available, and it's a good idea to wear it when you're in the shop. Remember, any damage to your hearing is permanent. That's why we strongly recommend wearing hearing protection while in the shop. All buses must be tagged and the wheels chalked when they're being worked on. When welding, wear the appropriate masks, leathers, and gloves. Stop the tape now to review the basic lifting and shop safety rules. Good customer service is very important and very simple. Follow these two guidelines. Number one, be on time. Your customers need you to be on time so they can be on time. Number two, smile when you say that. A little politeness goes a long way. Always treat your passengers with respect and courtesy, and smile when you talk to them. All of the rules discussed here and in the more detailed programs are designed to help us be safe and more efficient. Safe, responsible Laidlaw transit professionals use common sense. Taking shortcuts leads to problems. Always take the time to do things right. We want you to have a long, satisfying career with Laidlaw.